The world's most famous young wizard starts a rebellion in Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I'm Richard Roeper. Filling in for Roger this week is a senior writer at Entertainment Weekly. He's also a regular guest on the Today Show, Dave Karger. Thanks for being here, Dave.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for asking.
All right, let's get right to it. First up is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. The kids are getting older and going through a lot of changes, while the storyline gets darker and more ominous. This isn't as much fun as some of the previous installments, but it's a solid bridge to the next Potter film. Looking less dorky, growing more serious by the minute, Daniel Radcliffe's Harry returns to Hogwarts as the center of controversy. He's in trouble for using his powers outside school grounds.
Where are we going? The letter said I've been expelled from Hogwarts.
Oh, you haven't been. Not yet. Kingsley, you take point.
But the letter said...
Dumbledore has persuaded the minister to suspend your expulsion pending a formal hearing.
A hearing?
Uh-huh.
Don't worry, Harry. We'll explain everything when we get back to headquarters.
Imelda Staunton, in a wonderfully wicked turn, is Dolores Umbridge, the new ministry-approved teacher of defense against the dark arts. She's keen on taking over the entire school.
You applied first for the Defense Against the Dark Arts post, is that correct?
Yes.
But you were unsuccessful?
Obviously.
Now, like many of the familiar regulars from previous installments of the film, Alan Rickman doesn't have a great deal of screen time, but he makes the most of it. His sneering Snape tries to teach Harry how to keep Voldemort from invading his mind.
Let him chill him out. Concentrate, Potter.
At times, the Order of the Phoenix is almost too somber. Emma Watson's Hermione and Rupert Grint's Ronald are left on the sidelines for much of the film as Harry closes the deal on a new romance, says goodbye to a beloved mentor, and steels himself for a life-or-death battle with Voldemort. We do get terrific work from the all-star British cast, and the special effects are as seamless as ever. And as always, the true star of the Harry Potter franchise is Rowling's epic, wonderful, magic, continuing story. So, Dave, thumbs up for me.
Yeah, it's a mild thumbs up for me as well. I'm not a huge Potterphile or Harry head or whatever they're called, but I went into this and I thought, you know what, this actually had some interesting character development to it. I feel like the young actors are settling into their roles very nicely, particularly Daniel Radcliffe, and it is so much fun to watch someone like Imelda Staunton, who I think gave one of the best performances ever in Vera Drake, have a great role in a movie that, guess what, people are actually going to see.
Well, you're absolutely right about that. I mean, you get pretty much the entire, you know, graduate of the London School of Drama or whatever. I mean, every great British character actor gets a role in these movies, and they all have a lot of fun with it. And it is darker. Well, the story gets darker. And I thought, yeah, sometimes the photography, I think it was almost too dark, and I did miss some of the whimsy of the early chapters of the saga, but that's the way the story goes.
And at the same time, I think it was kind of a cool idea to bring David Yates, who's a British TV director, into something like this, as opposed to someone like Chris Columbus or Alfonso Cuarón, who's known for the more fanciful things. This is a real character piece. I don't know if some of the younger kids are going to be as enthralled by it. It is kind of light on plot. They did do a good job of taking one of the longest books and making it into one of the shortest Harry Potter films, though, so kudos for that.
And, you know, they got a couple of more, one more book and a couple more movies to go before Daniel Radcliffe hits like 35, you know.
So I still think he looks pretty good. It kind of,
he's a good actor.
He's got another film coming out this fall where he's not Harry Potter. We'll see how that goes.
Forward to it.
Anyway, next up is a powerful twist on the buddy movie called Talk to Me. It's the true story of Petey Greene, a charismatic and controversial ex-con who became one of Washington, D.C.'s most popular radio DJs in the 60s and 70s. Don Cheadle, who's proving himself to be one of the most versatile actors working today, plays Greene, who develops a love-hate relationship with the program director at the station, Dewey Hughes, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor. That's right, I said it. They first meet in prison. Dewey is visiting his brother, and Petey is serving 5 to 10 for an armed robbery conviction.
Hey, Ralph Waldo Petey Greene, miscreant Mac at your service.
You forgot felon. Lowlife.
So do that mean I got a job or what?
Now, once Petey scams his way to an early release, he convinces Dewey to give him a chance on the air over the objections of the station owner, played by the wonderful Martin Sheen.
You are out of your mind if you think I'm going to put this person on the air.
Sir, I know this is unorthodox.
Unorthodox? It's insane.
Sir, hear me out. This man has a unique voice. I just have a feeling.
I have much more than just a feeling.
So we need to put somebody on the air in the next 2 minutes or we go black.
Black, black, black.
Petey instantly becomes a fan favorite, combining the best soul tunes of the day with his unique brand of straight talk. And pretty soon, he's a TV talk show host and stand-up comic, appearing on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. But none of that feels authentic to Petey, who'd rather just stay behind the microphone doing what he does best. It's so tough to mix comedy and drama effectively, but Talk to Me pulls it off. And that's largely due to the fine performances of Cheadle and Ejiofor, who capture all the complications of these two men whose friendship was never easy. Part biopic, part social history, but all very entertaining. Talk to Me isn't helped by its forgettable title or its strange summer release date, but it's a movie that's definitely got a lot to say, so it's a thumbs up for me.
Big thumbs up for me, Dave. You're so right. First of all, Don Cheadle's performance. I mean, this guy, if he doesn't win an Oscar this year, he's going to win one sometime soon. He's so good and so authentic. I thought there were a couple of scenes that were way over the top early on, like when he first comes to the radio station and they're making so much noise and it's played almost too slapsticky, but then it really settles into such an authentic group, great supporting performances, really good screenplay. It's got a great soundtrack here, and it just, you know, the last, hour or so of it, I didn't think it hit a false note in any scene.
Well, that one sequence where Petey gets his shot on Johnny Carson is absolutely riveting without saying what happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's such a great role for Don Cheadle, who everyone thinks of him in Hotel Rwanda, and he thinks that he's just so serious. But with movies like Ocean's 11 and 12 and 13, he's proven how funny he can be. So to see him do a part like this where he can really flex all of his different muscles is kind of exciting.
Cassie Lemon's the filmmaker here. This is her best work so far.
And there were times in the 70s part of the film where I thought it needed a little more structure. I wasn't really sure what year they were in and what was really happening. But I have to say, overall,
should be able to tell by the hair and the flair, baby.
Yeah.
You know,
it never
what's going
felt
on
like
there.
a school lesson, even though it was educational.
No, and it makes you want to know more about the real-life character who was Petey Green.
Absolutely.
Good film. Later in the show, John Travolta gets his drag on in Hairspray. Plus, robots in disguise have taken the box office by storm, and we'll review Transformers next.
Shift your weight towards the front!
Gentlemen, I want to introduce you to my friend, Optimus Prime.
You know, it's easy to see why Transformers has become a huge monster hit. It's a big, cool, dopey, noisy, non-stop action powerhouse. It's also too long by a half hour, and it left my ears ringing, but it's a lot of fun. Michael Bay directs this film almost like a parody of a Michael Bay film. The heroes all get their slow-motion walk sequences, and we get amazing special effects and stunt work shot with hyperkinetic camera movements. But it all starts with a nerd and a babe in a car.
My dad, he was a real grease monkey. He taught me all about this. I could take it all apart, clean it, put it back together.
That's weird. I just wouldn't peg you for mechanical.
That's Shia LaBeouf in yet another strong performance as Sam, and Megan Fox as Michaela. She's supposed to be in high school. Talk about a special effect. As fans of the cartoon series surely know, there are good Transformers and there are evil Transformers.
Look! Stop! Please stop! Okay, what do you want from me?
Like a giant box of Junior Mints washed down with a 50-ounce soda, Transformers has no nutritional value, but it's not supposed to. It's eye candy, and it's sweet, so thumbs up.
You know, I agree with you on noisy and dopey, but I would also add boring, tedious, nonsensical, and unfunny. I am so disappointed to hear you say that you kind of went into this and then came out thinking it was worth your time.
I'm speechless, Dave. I thought you'd be along for the ride. You'd have a good time. You'd enjoy the cool. Were you a Transformers fan as a kid?
I was not. So maybe that's the problem. Look, Shia LaBeouf is great, and I hope he has a great career, and he will. But the stuff between him and the car was like a bad Knight Rider episode with the car that plays the hits. I mean, and the special effects. It was one effect over and over again. Well, that was so fast and loud and aggressive. You couldn't even appreciate what was.
Oh, come on! You didn't get a kick out of the scenes with his parents, with the Transformers hiding on the lawn.
Love Julie White as the mother.
I mean, come on, that was funny stuff.
But
Fast
so you actually cared
like,
whether the good robots beat the bad robots?
Of course, because I want this race of ours, humankind, to continue as the
and
good
you want Transformers too, which guess what you're going to get?
Oh yeah.
But here's the thing: I was watching this movie, and with all of people, hooping and hollering around me when the robots were fighting each other, I thought to myself, why are there people in this movie? Audience only wants to see the robots.
Of course they're needed, because you have to have somebody you can identify with. But Dave, the Transformers are people. They have characters and personalities themselves.
Which
There's
are very
wacky sidekicks and stuff. Oh, now you're looking for creative consistency
No,
in the character development of Optimus Prime.
I'm looking for sense. Like, there's that thing where we find out that they've learned how to say things like "my bad," but then they still say things like "one shall rise and one shall fall." Well, speak formally. I know it's a line from the old movie.
But that's Transformers speak.
Great.
See,
Well, but
they're bilingual. You were supposed to check your critic's brain at the door when you went to this and just enjoy it.
Well, I have to say I also was offended by the Michael Bay world where every African-American man was a raving lunatic and no woman is allowed to be anything other than smoking hot.
Oh, hey.
So there's a couple problems there. Anyway, coming up next, John Travolta, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Christopher Walken lead the all-star cast of Hairspray.
Be sure to check out our new website for full-length video replays of each week's reviews 24 hours a day. Visit atthemoviestv.com, the online home of Ebert and Roeper.
Stay away from the humans. It's dangerous. Now shut up and eat your garbage.
All right, looking at movies now in theaters, all getting a thumbs up. Brad Bird's Ratatouille, Bruce Willis, who goes Ratatouille in Live Free or Die Hard, and Christian Bale in Rescue Dawn.
There's 6 guards posted during the day.
Yeah. That is during the day. I'm going at night.
Great performance from Christian Bale there. This film by Werner Herzog is almost as compelling as the documentary he did about the character that Bale plays.
And I think Christian Bale and even possibly Steve Zahn could factor into the Oscar race next year.
Best performance of Zahn's career.
Absolutely. Well, next up is the star-studded musical Hairspray. It opens next week, so this is an early review. Now, I know the phrase, a movie based on a Broadway musical based on a movie, would have most people running for the aisles, not dancing in them. But I dare you to watch this remake of sorts without smiling and tapping your feet. In early 1960s Baltimore, Tracy Turnblad, played by the fantastic newcomer Nikki Blonsky, is a chubby high schooler with one dream: to appear on her local American Bandstand-type dance program, The Corny Collins Show. Dead set against her wish, of course, is Tracy's mother, a sheltered laundress played by a man in drag, in this case, John Travolta.
No one is auditioning for anything in this household.
But why not? Why not?
Dancing is not your future. One day you're going to own Edna's Occidental Laundry.
I don't want to be a laundress. I want to be famous.
If you want to be famous, learn how to take blood out of car upholstery. That's a skill you can take right to the bank.
Though Tracy is initially rejected by the station manager, a deliciously villainous Michelle Pfeiffer, the host of the show overrules her decision after seeing Tracy's infectious and slightly scandalous dance moves. With her newfound celebrity, Tracy embarks on a new crusade to open up the all-white Corny Collins Show to African-American dancers as well. Joining her in that battle are a few friends from school, including the cocky Seaweed J. Stubbs, played by Elijah Kelly from Stomp the Yard. Hairspray has a real innocence to it that's very refreshing, as it tackles issues of prejudice and discrimination with wide-eyed humor. It's not perfect. There's a pointless love triangle sequence between Travolta, Pfeiffer, and Christopher Walken that brings the movie to a halt. But Blonsky, Kelly, and Zac Efron from the Disney Channel's enormously popular High School Musical have talent and charm for days, and whenever they're on screen, the movie brims with euphoric energy. And it doesn't hurt that the songs are among the catchiest tunes you'll ever hear. This is a big thumbs up. I just loved it.
You know, I'm with you, Dave, and I'll tell you, even though I go into every movie with an open mind, I mean, the truth is there are certain movies you look forward to a lot more than others. If Shannon Sossman's going to play a topless assassin in a Quentin Tarantino film, that's a film that I've got marked on my calendar. Hairspray, I was like, do I really care about this? Do I really want to see it? I loved it. I loved everything you're saying about Travolta. Now, you know, you think, okay, is it just going to be a gimmick? Travolta's going to be in this big fat suit and he's going to... No! He plays a character you really come to have affection for. They really pull it off here.
I actually kind of even believed him as a woman. Like, I actually was looking at him thinking, wait, this is a woman that I'm watching. It was kind of fascinating. And also, one thing I didn't mention, first of all, Queen Latifah is also great.
Yeah,
Another
very
great
good
performance from her.
Nice job.
And such great dancing in this movie, which I guess is no surprise, because the director, Adam Shankman, is a choreographer, and he did all the choreography as well. And he's got great stuff to work with. I mean, Mark Shaman, the songs are fantastic.
The songs are great. All of that is just done so well, and you just love the spirit of this, and I like the fact that they didn't try to do too much with the movie. You had this great property that, now, you know, in its third generation, Don't try to get too fancy with the camera moves. Don't get too crazy with what you can do outside of a Broadway stage. It almost has the feel of the era of a musical from the 60s, even though the lyrics sometimes are a little bit darker. I just had a great time with the film that I think it just hits it right out of the park.
And I love this new girl, Nikki Blonsky. She's as good as Jennifer Hudson. She won't get awards for it, but she was just great.
She's terrific. Okay, next movie. Ever since her indie princess days, Parker Posey has played any number of smart, funny, neurotic single women. She's a mid-30s version of that persona in Broken English, but it would be a slight to her work here and to this smart and offbeat film to say it's a comfort zone performance. This is a unique, confident piece of acting. Posey plays Nora, who is increasingly bitter and lonely as she encounters one disappointing man after another. Drea De Matteo is her only slightly less cynical best friend.
Nora, you have no sense of direction and you are way too shy. Do you want me to stay with you? Because I will. Now, I have to do this for myself. I have to stop relying on other people to make decisions for me.
Broken English is directed by Zoe Cassavetes, whose mother, Jenna Rollins, plays Nora's mother. She loves Nora, but she's honest to the point of being blunt when talking about her daughter's romantic prospects.
I wish you would have married Mark. Mom, he was always so crazy about you, you know that. Would have been perfect. The family of friends, he's so handsome. And he's successful. And has a terrific trust fund.
Broken English takes a dark turn as Nora's brittle state worsens to the verge of a full breakdown. We sympathize with her illness, but we begin to wonder if she should concentrate more on getting better and less on finding a man. This is a very uneven effort. It lost me a couple of times, but then I got back into it due to the performances, the understated directing, and the writing. So, Dave, it's a qualified thumbs up for me.
I was going to say the exact same thing. There were things I didn't love about it. I didn't really love all the Drea De Matteo stuff. I thought that she was given a little too many scenes in the second half. But then Parker Posey saved it, and the ending, it saved it for me big time.
Yeah, it really is the kind of film you're like, oh, you're really pushing it, almost pushing me away from liking this film. I agree with you, the best friend character, a little bit too much of her, but Parker Posey, who, can do these kinds of roles in her sleep, she adds different dimensions and depth to this, I think.
And a real sense of danger to the role, which was great, but if I see one more movie character drinking straight from a mini bar, liquor bottle, I'm gonna go crazy. That never happens in real life, only in the movies. It should never happen again.
All right, fair enough.
Anyway, coming up next, what do you do if you don't have any friends? You
drink from the minibar.
Yeah, exactly. You try to create one. We'll review My Best Friend right after this. Our final movie of the week is an absolute gem of a comedy from France, My Best Friend. When a humorless antiques dealer named Francois spends a ridiculous amount of money on an ancient Greek urn, his art world colleagues make a startling observation, that despite all his physical possessions, there's one very important thing he doesn't own.
Sans doute parce que t'as pas d'amis.
Mais comment ça, j'ai pas d'amis?
Bah non. Comment tu ferais? Y'a que les objets qui comptent pour toi.
At that dinner, Francois' business partner gives him 10 days to produce his best friend, betting his pricey new urn that he can't. Francois then enlists a chatty cab driver named Bruno to teach him the ABCs of friendship.
Mais il n'y a aucun truc, il suffit d'être soi-même. Sympathique, souriant.
Donc je récapitule. Sympathique, souriant.
Et sincère. C'est surtout ça qui compte, la sincérité.
Danielle Auteuil perfectly captures this obsessed workaholic who gets so agitated by the accusation that he has no true friends. And Danny Boone is disarming as the sad sack cabbie who's just looking for a good buddy himself. Seek this movie out because you will never look at your friends the same way again. I just adore this movie.
I share your affection for this film, Dave. And it's just that perfect touch, and it's done so well, and the material in less sophisticated and subtle hands could get into jokey things and just, wacky endings and little, nudge, nudge, wink, wink things about two men trying to be friends, and it sidesteps all of that perfectly. It's so well done.
It's just a really great story at heart.
It's the story, and it's the acting, and just beautifully directed. Yeah. Good film. Okay, we'll be back to recap this week's show right after this, but first, here's a look at what's coming up on next week's show.
Oh, I like men. The way they smell.
Closed captioning for Ebert and Roeper is sponsored by...
Man has evolved to the point where he no longer needs to stand in line for tickets. The MovieTickets.card, available only at MovieTickets.com.
Guests of Ebert and Roeper stay at the Peninsula Chicago, the city's most exciting luxury hotel, located in the heart of Chicago's Magnificent Mile.
Okay, recapping the movies on this week's show. 2 thumbs up for Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. 2 big thumbs up for Talk to Me. We split on Transformers. 2 big thumbs up for Hairspray. It opens next week. Thumbs up for Broken English, and 2 thumbs up for the wonderful film My Best Friend. And Dave, thanks so much for doing this show.
It was my pleasure. I'm sorry you liked each and every movie that we reviewed this week.
I know, it's a rare occasion, let me tell you. Okay, that's it for this week, and until next week, the balcony is closed.
It's Sweet Strawberry Serenade. Delicious strawberries served up with funnel cakes, French toast, or pancakes only at IHOP. Come hungry, leave happy.
You don't feel guilty?
Nope.
It's the extra creamy ice cream you don't have to feel guilty about. Double churn from Breyers.
Is today the day you show your dog how much you care? Ask your vet if HeartGuard Plus is right for your dog.
Oh, those are so cute.
I know, I love my Skechers. What would I do without my Skechers, right?
I know, I love them.
Skechers, perfect styles, perfect comfort.